Hi folks, this is the unboxing and review of the E1 tank loco from Rapido, which is finished in southern malachite green and is named Medina after the river on the Isle of Wight. This is Mac the knife. Exciting, isn't it? There we have it. Unboxing. Here it says London, Brighton and South Coast Railway E1060T for tank. This is the end of the box view. It says London, Brighton, South Coast Railway, BR green, Isle of Wight condition, number 1 Medina, DCC ready. That presumably is the product code. The box is enclosed in a clear acetate package. Move it to one side. And inside we have got the owner's manual. We'll look at this in more detail later. Inside there's a piece of black foam, and the model itself is in one of these clamshell things. Let's look at it. And there she is. Now we're going to get her out and put her on the turntable for a closer look. Quite tightly packed in. Things falling off. What's that? Don't know. There she is. Yeah. Well, there she is on the turntable. Let's rotate her around, shall we? Zooming in, we see we've got quite a lot of detail here, and lining quite well executed. And there's a pipe there, but none of the pipes are metal. Everything is plastic. Here we see it says British Railways in sunshine lettering. This was developed in the Second World War so people could see things more clearly in the blackout. And here's the name of the locomotive, which is Medina. Here we are looking towards the rear of the locomotive, and we see it's got number 1 on it, which is its Isle of Wight designation. And here are the handrails, but they're plastic. And there's quite a lot of detail inside the cab. There's the reversing lever, but there it's all plastic. Of interest is this thing around the coal load. On the Isle of Wight, this was blocked off to stop the coal falling off. So that's correct. Let's look round at the rear of the loco. You can see there's a builder's plate on the back. And that is the Westinghouse vacuum. The buffers are sprung, but it's not really very well sprung. Let's look at the front of the loco. Here again we see the Westinghouse, whatever it is, this vacuum pipe here, and again sprung buffers. You can see here there's pipework depicted, but pipework is all plastic and there's no metal here at all. I don't know if that might be metal on the roof, but we don't know. Looking at the wheel set, we see that the wheels are quite well depicted. They're lined with yellow and green, which is quite attractive. But immediately you realise that the connecting rods are plastic, which I think is a very serious disappointment. Here we've got a magnet. You can see if you put the magnet up against it, there's no attraction whatsoever, so it is plastic without a doubt. For your predilection, here is a look at the underside of the loco. Nothing remarkable here to see, except the wheels are nice and shiny, having never been run very far presumably. This is a look down at the top of the loco. And there's a lot of detail on it, but it's all entirely of plastic, see? And this is very flimsy. Plastic, fantastic. Very flimsy. This is the whistle. I think that is also plastic. And it doesn't have much of a metallic sound to it, does it? On a positive note, there's quite a lot of detail in the cab. Look. The reversing gear, I can't see any gauges there. These rear lights are glazed and these bars are quite well depicted. And you can see here that the glazing here is depicted, though it's they're rather thick lenses, thicker than they would be, of course, if they were true to scale. That's only a minor complaint. Let's put her down on the track. The owner's manual contains some sanguine advice. It says here, your locomotive is fitted with a modern 21st century motor and electronic components. This is much more sensitive voltage spikes than previous decades. Your model should work perfectly well with modern analogue controllers, and by that we mean something that is more than less than 30 years old. However, some analogue controllers can cause problems with the electrics in some models. La-di-da-di-da. And it says, so with that out of the way, it says put the locomotive on the track, turn the knob on your controller and make it go. Let's do that then. Here we go, the moment of truth. Yes, it's working. Well, it says to give it an hour's in each direction, so that's what I will now do. So off we go. And she's stalled on the points. Well, first thing to say about this loco, it's very derailment prone. Yes, I mean the unreliability of this model does weigh very heavily against it. This is a standard Hornby point. It's struggling with it. Problem with this, it's just doesn't stay on the track. Now trying the same operation in reverse to see if we get the same problem. I don't like the sound of the motor either. And it's off the track. This is a 4th radius curve, so I mean if you've got anything tighter than that, I would reckon probably even worse. Yeah, well I think folks this is where I'm going to call it a day with this video, because this locomotive is a loser. I don't recommend it. Bye for now.